How are you doing today? Welcome to the Paul Fo podcast. Today, we will be talking to you about network effects and building of your personal brand. Network effects and building of your personal brand. In the 1980s, a man by the name of Robert Metcalf, the founder of Ethernet, came up with something called network effect. And network effect basically means that, by definition, network effect means that the value of a network grows proportionally to the square of the number of its users. Let me define it again. Network effect means that the value of a network, right, grows proportionally to the square of the number of people that are using that network. So let me explain it in a simpler way. Let's say, for example, you have a telephone and you are the only one that has a telephone in your community. Based on that, your phone is not useful, right? Those of you who are watching me live on Instagram, right? If you are the only one that has a phone, your phone is not useful because that network has zero value, right? Great. But if you and four of your friends have a phone, that means you have five people in that network. The value of that network grows by timesing 5 by 5, which is 25. Remember, the definition of a network is the value of a network grows proportionally to the square of the number of its users. The square means times the number of its users. Did you get that? The word proportionally means as the network grows, the square also grows. Did you get that? Great. So the question is, how do you apply the network effects to building of your personal brand? The reason why Instagram is powerful is because a lot of people are on Instagram. Instagram has what they call a network effect. The reason why Facebook is powerful is because billions of people are on Facebook. The reason why TikTok is powerful is because there are many people on TikTok. It is called a network effect. It means that the more people that join the network, the more powerful the network will become. Did you get that? The more people that join the network, the more powerful that network will become. Now, I started thinking to myself, in what way can we apply the principles of network effect in the building of our personal brands? Because remember, you are a brand. Did you get that? Now, by applying Metcalf's law in your personal brand means that you should focus on expanding your network, because the value of your brand will grow exponentially and proportionally to the more people you connect with. And add here, the more quality people you connect with. So, how do you grow your personal brand? The first way to grow your personal brand is grow your network intentionally. The more quality, if you know 5 quality people, your network has grown square that 5 quality people, because the 5 quality people will connect with themselves. On the internet, they call that nodes. All right? The more nodes you have, the more value your network becomes. If you think about it, why rich people, when they are doing their children's birthday or they are doing anything, a lot of people show up when a rich man is celebrating their birthday or something. You know why? because the number of nodes, the human beings there, we can call them nodes in the network, right? Right? The more nodes you have in the network, the more powerful the network becomes. This is the reason why size actually matters on the internet. It does matter because the more followers you have, you will disproportionately increase the odds of opportunities coming to you when you have scale of followers. The kinds of opportunities that will go to a Davido will not come to me. He has more popularity. He has more followers. So that means there are more nodes in his network than I have now. Perhaps mine will increase by God's grace. Did you get that? Great. So how do you do that specifically? Grow your Instagram. Engage with people on your Instagram. All right? Comment on the post of other people daily. That way you're increasing your network. Start a newsletter and you can convert your current followers to people in your newsletter. And my newsletter platform of choice, and I'm recommending that to you, is called Substack. It is the best newsletter platform that I know of. You can use that as a newsletter. Start with that. Get interviews on podcasts. This is a podcast. I've started my own podcast. I've done 194 episodes of the podcast. The more people that listen to the podcast, the more my network grows. All right, example, if I engage with 10 influential salespeople weekly and they each all have 10,000 followers, a few shares can put me in front of 100,000 people, true of us. Yes, because that network has increased. Next way to use network effect to grow your personal brand is encourage interaction. Encourage interaction. In other words, each new connection multiplies the network. You know that, right? Because if you're following me right now and you talk about me, for example, the people that you know will now also know me. That's the power of a network effect. So make your audience a part of the conversation. How do you do that? You can run a poll. I don't know if you've ever done a poll on Instagram. You have been on Instagram now, but you have never done a poll about growing, about your niche. Maybe you sell food. You can do a poll like, do you eat breakfast in the morning or you prefer to eat once a day or twice? You want to do a poll. It increases engagement. Ask questions on your Instagram stories. Just ask a question. It increases engagement and makes your network alive. All right. For example, when 50 people engage with your LinkedIn or Instagram post and each has 500 connections, for example, your content gets seen by 25,000 plus people. That is why its engagement is good. Number 3, leverage network effect with user-generated content. This is important. If you want to use network effect, for those of you who just joined us, this is live on YouTube, it's live on my podcast. All right, it's going to be on my newsletter as well. For those of you who just joined us, I have been talking to everybody about Metcalfe's law. Robert Metcalfe is the founder of Ethernet. He has what we call the Metcalfe's law. And the Metcalfe's law states that the value of a network grows proportionally to the square of the number of users in the network. Now we break it down because I don't know mathematics too much so that everybody can understand it. The value of a network, watch this definition, grows proportionally. The word proportionally means at the same time. That's what proportionally means. That means that proportionally means that if you eat a lot, you will get fat a lot. That is proportionally. Did you get that? We're saying that the value of your network will grow directly or proportionally to the square of the number of people in your network. By square, that means times. So if you have 5 people in your network, the value of your network is 5 times 5, which is 25. Did you get that? Did you get that? If you got it, type it. Yes, I got it. If you're watching me on Instagram, say I got it. So that it is the principle that Facebook and Instagram uses. If you were the only one using Facebook in the world, Facebook will not be valuable. The reason why Instagram is valuable, Facebook is valuable, is because I am on Instagram, you are on Instagram, your friends are on Instagram, and the connection that we connect with each other is what makes Instagram valuable. So the more people that join Instagram, the more valuable Instagram becomes. So if you think about it, you are the product of Instagram. What Instagram is selling is the size of its network. Did you get that? This is a deep class. You should take a screenshot and tell people to come and join. I say, this guy is dropping some sauce here, man. If you believe I'm dropping some sauce, you take a screenshot, drop it in your stories. I will regram it. Follow me if you're not following me. Say, look, this guy is giving free, powerful information here. And I'm telling you, I am. Did you get that? So once you understand that, you would know that, the truth is that the bigger your network, the more powerful you become. Once you understand that, nobody will tell you to build your network. You will go to more parties. You will go to more networking events. You will shake more hands. You will strive to grow your followership because skill matters. Before I continue, this episode of the Paul Fo podcast was powered by my company. I've got 2 events coming up that I want you to participate in. It will help you grow your business. If you feel I'm dropping value for you, I want you to consider these 2 events. The first event is taking place in London, the 27th of this month, March. It's called How to Set and Achieve Your Sales Goals in Central London. I'm the one that's hosting the event. It starts by 10 a.m. in the morning and we close by 2:30 in the afternoon. I will teach you exactly the specific ways to use spiritual and psychological laws to set your sales goals and achieve that goal. I'm giving a discount to those who want to register for that class right now. So if you want to register for my London class, click on the link on my Instagram bio. If you're watching this on Instagram Live, if you're watching this on YouTube, click on the link on the show notes. If you're listening to this on Spotify, click on the link on the show notes as well to register for that class. You will thank me later. If you do not live in the UK, because the UK class is a physical class, I am doing my 5-day Make Sales Challenge webinar. It starts from the 1st to the 5th of May. 1,000 people have registered. 1,000 people have graduated from my 5-day Make Sales Challenge. And I give a certificate for everyone who comes for that event because my company is registered in the UK and in Nigeria as well. So register for that. The link is also in my show notes to register for that. Let me continue. All right. Next way is leverage network effects with user-generated content. Now, get people to talk about your brand, and this brings new connections. It's important. How many of you ever watched those videos where you see somebody unpacking a product, unboxing a product? It's called a user-generated content because the user is the one that generated the content. It's called a UGC for short. All right. That's another way through which you can increase your network. You can also increase your network by telling people to share. Like I'm telling you right now, take a screenshot, share this thing that you're listening to me. All right. Some people have never heard about. I don't think many people know me really. I'm trusting God that many more people would know because I believe I'm dropping value. And when that happens, your network also increases. The other way through which your network can increase is by sharing testimonies or testimonials of people that have experienced your product. They have used your product and they have gotten value from using your product. So you want to share that experience as well. It helps your network to grow. All right. Number 4 is make it easy for people to connect with you. So add a link in your bio. Make it clear. All right. Make it super simple. I love what David Sachs said. He said, every friction in your business is a fat that you need to take out. Every friction in your business is an unnecessary fat that you need to eliminate from the business. All right. The fifth way to grow your network is to collaborate with bigger networks. You see, if I interview somebody who has a bigger crowd than me on my podcast, I don't really beg people to share episodes that I do with them. Some of them do. If they do, the people that follow them will start following me, and that way it is increasing my network as well. Collaboration is key, and some of the collaboration you may have to pay to play. You may have to pay to play. I mean, if you have an extra money, there's nothing wrong with you paying somebody to interview you on their Instagram live if you believe you have something valuable to say. That will increase your network. New people will follow you, and down the road, you will make profit off the back of that. Did you get that? All right. So join communities. It's another way to grow your network. And the last way through which you can grow your network is PR. I don't know why you would be in business or you're a personal brand and you have never paid a newspaper to cover your event. For example, the training I'm doing in London, my physical sales training, I've just spoken to my person that does my edits and say, I'm going to talk to a company to come and cover the event and do a write-up about my class in London. Because if you don't beat your drum, who is going to beat that drum for you? When you do PR makes your brand looks bigger than it is. And when it looks bigger than it is, it changes people's perception about your brand. And when it changes people's perception about your brand, it attracts helpers. It attracts destiny helpers. It attracts new connections. It attracts new opportunities. God told Abraham, I will make your name great, before he said, I will make you great. Did you get that? So a great name can be architectured. I like this. This is deep. This is deep. This is deep, Paul. You just said something deep now. Paul, you're making Paul feel smart. A great name can be architectured. That is just the truth of the matter. I hope this was useful to you. So write a comment, share this podcast episode with everybody that you learned a lot today. This episode of the Powerful Podcast was also powered by Beyond Borders, one of the fastest growing real estate companies in Abuja. I'm going to put a link in the show note to check them out and see the great things that they are doing. And that brings us to episode 194 of the Powerful Podcast. 194 to go, 194 down, and 3,000 episodes to go. Let's go. Boom. I hope this was useful to you. My Instagram has don't go anywhere. Stay here with me. My YouTubers, thank you so much. Somebody